Well, Dolphin fans, look like we got ourselves another receiver in Mr. Odell Beckham. And I'm fine with this. I was like, I didn't think he played I was like, not that I'm just fine with, but I actually really like it. It didn't cost anything. Um, it wasn't like the contract he got from Baltimore or whatever. That was like one of them deals where you get your money up and you get cut or whatever. Um, it sucks that he's not the guy that like the Rams got before he tore his knee up again. But I do think but with the Ravens, I was like, I think if he gives us that, then I think it's a win. I didn't think he was bad for the Ravens. I thought he was pretty good considering, even though they were passing the ball a lot more, but I did think that they weren't, and we sort of seen this in sort of like playoffs and stuff like that, is that I don't know if they was creative enough, and I was like, and that's why I think he could have a better season, better impact with us. Is that look with the Ravens? I was like, Zay Flower could get himself open because of the type of shifty receiver he is, and but I was like Beckham, I like seeing how he was with the Rams and the Ravens. Now you could say that after the injury, he doesn't have it necessarily anymore to be as shifty and stuff like that and whatnot. I was like, yes, I don't think the speed is there anymore, but his route running is still there. And McVay with the Rams, look, I was like, he doesn't have fast receiver. Puka's not. I was like Cooper and Puka, even though they do run away from you, they're not fast receivers. They're just like so good with the routes and how they get the ball that a lot of times they create so much separation that then I was like, and they're just able to hit the top line speed really fast that they already got you by then. Um, and I was like, but that's sort of like what I'm saying for like Odell. I'm like, if you match him up right, if you scheme him up right, I was like, I feel like he could be a lot more impactful. I was like, with the Ravens, he basically was the number one receiver, so he's going up against the top corner and stuff. He won't have to do that with the Dolphins, so he already is going to be playing against the second, third corner. So that's already like one. We got the. I was like, we have more advantage. Uh, I think we have a better offensive schemer than the Ravens do. Um, I was like, if you looked at the receiver that we had in that third wide receiver spot, I was like, the last couple of years since we've had McDaniels, I was like, they done pretty good with the receivers that they have. Cause I was like a lot, where it's like Craycraft and uh, I was like Trent Sherfield, I think that was his name. Uh, I was like Cedric Wilson. Uh, and I was like you look at Cedric Wilson and what I was like, don't get me wrong, he's bigger and faster than Odell Beckham, but I was like, he played really well once we was able to get him on the field and stuff. Um, so I think we already have that advantage there. Also, with Waddle and Hill, and they're so fast, they're gonna get all the double teams, all the scheming, and guess what? Now you got to account for Odell, and it's like no matter how you want to think about it, he still is Odell Beckham. He still is a name. He still is somebody that you're gonna be like, I'm a game plan for. I was like, he had like 700 yards with the Ravens, considering the way they play the ball. I was like, if we get that out of him, it's a good pickup. Like I said, it doesn't cost much. But I also think that it helps when one of them get hurt, most namely Waddle. Waddle gets hurt a bit, and the thing that sucked was there was nobody else there, and I'm like, I was like, if Waddle goes down, Beckham being the next guy, I'm fine with that. Tyreek Hill is going to always take the big amount of defensive scheme. Um, I was like, but you've seen like last year, like Cedric Wilson, the opportunity he was able to use in that time frame, and I'm like, okay, cool. I think Beckham can do pretty much all of that. Um, I was like, and I think also he fits with also playing with Tua. I was like, you don't have to worry about running around. Like, like with Lamar, you don't have to really necessarily worry about like maybe like the running around, the taking a little extra time in the pocket because he can like make something happen. Not always like necessarily like he about to run type of thing, but I was like he could move. He moves in the pocket, and he'll extend the pocket and all that, so it gives you a little bit more time. But I was like, with Tua, he ain't gonna do none of that. So when you doing your Chris route where it's like 1, 2, 3, cut, Tua gonna be looking for you. Um, and so that's why I think that he will be able to fit in our scheme really well. Uh, because it's more of, I mean, look, I was like, you've seen that he's done his best in like, like when he was with the Rams and stuff like that, and like the little West Coast type of joint and stuff, which is all about route running. And I was like 1, 2, 3, throw kind of stuff. Guess what? That's what we're all gonna do here. I was like, our run game is good to, like decent to good depending on the time. Kind of like sometimes we run the ball hella great, and sometimes it's okay. But we still got we still run the ball well enough and enough that I'm like it's still a threat as well too. So that's what I'm saying. I was like, if he's gonna be our third receiver most of the time, I was like the chain mover. I was like, I still think I was like I still think his hands and stuff with all that still there. I just don't think he had. I was like the only thing that I really think that from watching Beckham, I don't think he had the breakaway speed anymore. Like when he could take a slant and it's like that's going to the house. I was like, I don't think that's there anymore. I was like, but I do think like you give him a slant. I was like, he can go for 40 yards before he gets caught, kind of thing. Um, but it's a good no, but it's a good pickup. Like I said, didn't cost much, which is the whole thing. Um, I was like, and I was like, I guess with the other receiver we drafted was that it makes sense. It don't make sense. I don't know. But either way, totally down with it. I was like, we just got some really short dudes. I was like, I know Waddle's 6 feet, but we got some really small dudes. That's the only thing I don't like. That we don't have any big receivers. But other than that, take it. We'll see. Hopefully, like I said, we get what he did with the Ravens. It's a win. But yeah, until then, I'm out.